Creation is life, brother.
Life is the period of time in between birth and death.
That part.
I don't know why they create. I don't get this. I don't get this. This is why. Anyway, it's crazy work, man.
It is.
I spent some bread on this too, but it worked. It worked. It worked through my phone. It worked through my phone when I do a live. I don't know why it's not working. I don't know why it's not working right now. I don't understand.
And some stuff, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Let's rock and roll, bro.
Let's rock and roll. What's happening, family? Peace and salutations, family. This is our brothers in America. This is the host that does the most, Brother Leo, Brother Conscious, with my co-host, Brother Holy Water, and green tea, green tea, green tea. Yes, yes, family. Today's discussion on our topic today is uh, raising our children, our sons and daughters. Do we feel as if it's important to raise our sons and daughters to be our husbands and wives? To be a husband and wives. Chad, do you all feel like that's an important thing to raise our children? Because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to tackle that topic early today. I feel like it's important because nowadays I personally feel that a lot of our children aren't being reared or being molded how to be husbands, how to be a wife. They don't know the foundation on a healthy relationship. They don't know the foundation on how to add value to your partner's all about self. It ain't about us as a whole. It's just everybody's based on individualism. You know what I'm saying? It ain't and in a marriage, in a relationship, a healthy, successful, prosperous relationship, it ain't just on self, it's on me and my partner, me and my significant others. And I feel as if a lot of children aren't being rare or raised to that capacity to this day. And I feel like what we have to do is we got to go back to the basic rudiment and teach our children, especially at a young age. You know what I'm saying? These quality traits and characteristics at a young age. Because again, like let's be truth be told, we base it on everyday living, everyday life, social media, the whole nine. They're not educating our children uh in the path or the way how it needs to be done. You know, they're not teaching proper communication. They're not teaching how to maturity. They're not teaching responsibilities. You know, they're not teaching like friendship, being having successful friendship and so forth. So I feel as if we, as an adults, we have to take a few steps back and also focus on our children because they have to see. We have to lead by example because the greatest oxymoron that our parents used to tell us that is to say, "Do as I say, not as I do." And I feel as if it's important for a child to see that successful household, to see that successful relationship, to see that successful, thriving substance, you know, a foundation that they can build off, they can see and try to emulate. And I feel as if a lot of our household are lacking in that department, you know. Brother Oli, I don't know if you want to sit in, you want to chime in real quick, brother, or you are still doing your do, brother.
that authority within yourself and you begin to kind of settle yourself within your own authority as your self purpose or your purpose within your life, that kind of creates that leadership. Um, now I don't know if he said all of this because some of this is coming from me because that's what I got out of it, right? And it kind of inspired a lot of the topics and talking points, and it pinpoints a lot of what I think how a person should raise a child. You should raise a child within the mentality that you have authority over yourself. Because if you teach your child to have authority within themselves and to guide themselves directly, then you pretty much show them the value of leadership within yourself. So there's leadership, there's leadership within us where we have to lead our own purpose. So children are supposed to be guided within that, right? They're supposed to be guided within that purpose to allow them to exercise that authority as their children. It's a lot of stuff we don't want our it's a lot of stuff we don't want our sons doing when they get older, or our daughters doing when they get older. They have to have a sense of authority within themselves in order to not feel controlled by the outer layers or what's superficial, but it's within you. So um and I want to go to the etymology of authority real quick. This is the noun. Well, let me go to the adjective. Uh Traditionally in modern use, authentic. Oh, that's authentic. That's not author. My bad. Authority right here. Here's the noun right here. Basically, authority is like prestige, right, permission, dignity, gravity. Um, you People will gravitate towards somebody who has the proper authority. You know what I mean? So, and then you have it says invention, advice, opinion, influence, command. There's a sense of influence that you put on your children that gives them that deep down authentic authority to be able to be leaders as they get older, whether they're male or female. So remember we was talking about a virtuous woman. What a virtuous woman, there's a definition, there's a defining term to that. It's not just she just wakes up, it's not she just wakes up and she's just this woman that, you know, is going to be just there. She has her own sense of authority within herself to lead. Oh, somebody said, hey at the bottom, uh, what's up? So now, in the general sense of legal validity, you have one other thing he was talking about. This is my point before I pass it over to you. He said in his book, and one of these days I'll have to credit these sources where I'm getting this information from. He said that you have people that basically are tyrants, right? Who are tyrants who take a control. That's not legal authority. Legal authority is when somebody has they have the authority to do something. They have the authority to do something, but it's legal. It's like it's legal permission to do it. Like you have the you don't. It's not like you're taking it. Like okay, like Hitler didn't have the right to do what he did, right? Hitler didn't have the right to do what he did. Slavery, when slavery took place, slave masters didn't have the right to do what they were doing. The slave trade happening and all this stuff like that, they didn't have the right to do that. They stole, that was tyranny. Okay. So, but when you have actual authority, you have the permission legally, naturally, you know at that time it was legal to be have a slave trade, so they didn't have the authority legally as far as like through mankind, but not natural authority. In my that's not my opinion. That's factual. We're not gonna say oh it was legal back then. Yeah, that's like me creating my own law right now and saying, "Oh man, this is, I can govern myself over policing officers. Oh, this is legal according to who?" Okay? So your children have to have a they have to have proper guidance, and it has to be legal authority, leadership. But go ahead, brother.
I personally just seeing this chaotic mess that a lot of our generations help to contribute towards. And I feel like we got to go to the source. I feel like, me personally, not I feel, I know we have to go to the source because I mean, like, men aren't acting like men, how men supposed to be. Traditional men supposed to be, and women nowadays aren't acting as if uh, how they supposed to be, and that's in regards to being a traditional woman. Um, Relationships has no values. Only perks is people having selfish, self-centered goals. And the reason why marriages aren't lasting now because 80% women are initiating divorce, like high divorce rates, and that's because people aren't going into relationships and marriages being forthright. It's all based off accomplishments in terms of I want to say a few things because men are governed on respect. A man is governed on respect in terms of relationship. If a woman don't respect that man or his not saying his authority, but his authority being a man being what she's looking for and his characteristics, and this as well as woman. A woman generally looking to be loved. She looking to be appreciated. She looking for she's looking, what's the term you use? Affections and so forth. Woman wants to be loved, and men, we necessarily want to be respected. And that's why because a lot of women and men, women like are not respecting the authority of a man. Meaning, some woman, this is also based off personal experience. Some woman would sit you and tear a man down, would literally tear a man down. And I'm like belittle that man, emasculate that man, belittle that man, talk to that man, or relegate him as if he's a child. And I feel like that's not with the proper guidance because a lot of these women get their sources. You know what I'm saying? And women tend to do this. They gain their sources from outside sources. In regards to how to maintain a man, how to maintain a husband, from friends them that's out there that don't have a successful relationships. What's going on in Indonesia? I see you out there. I see you out there, family. Um, yeah, they gain these. They see how they friend or how their mother talk to their father, and they feel as if that's okay. Because again, they didn't come from a background or a household where they saw what a productive marriage or relationship looked like. And they fell into that trap like this is okay. And I feel like again, we as in a community, we as a group of people are thriving, group of people that we've accepted these foreign indoctrinations that our women want to disrespect our men and our men want to disrespect our women. But truth be told, is like it's no guidance. It's no guidance. Try your Indonesian. Try your Indonesian. I don't know how I'm gonna try my Indonesian, but thank you, Indonesia. I appreciate you. Thank you, Indonesia. Um, yeah, where our woman we had no foundation. Me and Holy was talking last week. We was talking last week on a foundation. There's no foundation. There's no successful marriage to base a lot of these households on. There's no successful relationships or functioning relationships to base that off. Um, it's a lot of things that we're lacking, what I'm saying, in terms of us being a community. And I know we was talking about last week in terms of submission, what it is to submit, is submit and so forth. And a little study I have with submission. Submitting is husbands submitting to their wives, or a woman submitting to her man, and a man submitting to his woman. Let me go into further details what I mean by that. Meaning, this person has my best interest. Right now, you're the best candidate I see in terms of me moving my life forward with. You're the best candidate I see in me moving my life forward. This is me. I'm trying to take you under my wing. I'm trying to be the leader. I'm trying to be the protector. And if I step out of line or not doing the things I'm supposed to do, it's your duty as my helpmate. That's what it is. For a woman to submit to her husband or her man is her. openly acknowledging she's going to be my helpmate. She's going to be in my corner, helping me to make helping me. Why are these people watching lives? I am not sure. I'm not, but helping me in my corner to make these decisions, but submitting to me like I am the man. I am the man that you want in your life. The same way how I said you have my best interest. You're the perfect candidate to push me forward and towards my building my dreams. And go ahead,
If I can interject, please.
go ahead, Big Bella.
Um, uh, as far as help, like one thing I want to piggyback off of what you said before I forget. Authority. Help me as well, but authority. A lot of people have this negative outlook on authority because they don't know the actual reason why authority is present. When you have authority and boundaries, it actually brings forth freedom. You know who I learned that from. So when you have boundaries, it actually brings freedom. And a lot of times we're not taught that. This is what we have to probably teach our children, that boundaries create freedom. And when boundaries create freedom, we're able to delve more into the 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 side of leadership and how to lead our families. Right now, as far as the help me, women have to be taught what authority is at a young age. Not just women, but men as well. Men and women have to be taught what authority is at a young age and what a helpmeet actually is as a young age. Because helpmeet doesn't necessarily mean she's inferior, right? But then we have to break down what helpmeet is, because if she's supposed to be the helpmeet. And another thing I learned from uh minister or Dr. Miles Monroe, and I hate to keep bringing his I hate to keep I hate to keep using his talking points, but it is what it is. But he said that man is not at the top, they're at the bottom, meaning they're the foundation. They're the when they're talking about the head, they're talking about the foot. They're the foundation. They're supposed to hold the family up, you know. And that's very important. So men don't see, look, men don't also have a good idea, or men a lot of men choose the narrative of macho man, and I'm supposed to lead with no, like, you're not supposed to lead without any type of, like, oh, do as I say, and that's it, no questions asked. But at the same time, there's a center, there's a equilibrium that comes within that, and it kind of forms. And what leadership literally is freedom. When you lead somebody, they're supposed to feel free, right? But then they also have to know the actual definition of what leadership is. So, you know I pass the baton back to you, my brother.
uh with a lot of with some modern day women, they're going to argue like they're being placed in these situations where they try to give men leadership, but they feel horribly. And I feel like sometimes I feel like some women, they expect sympathy, and I have to go ahead and I gotta give accountability. Like maybe you're choosing your choice of man is kind of skewed in a path, meaning you're choosing the wrong men. Because I want to say, like, you know how much time I've been heartbroken because I give somebody who don't deserve my time, my energy, my effort, or my love. And I'm not going to sit here and point fingers like whatever else the case. I just messed up. I messed up because I chose the wrong partner. Not because I chose the wrong partner doesn't mean I'm going to my outlook on everybody is the same. Now it's just making me wise and so forth. But some women, they feel as if, some modern day women and also traditional women, they feel as if they have to be both the man and the woman. They have to carry this huge burden because they try with certain men. and it failed horribly. So now they have to be both the male and the female in the relationship. Mean it's like they gotta be the authority and also gotta be the helpmate at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's miseducation of being misinformed, or they fall in their own volition towards going down a path that's destructive. Because that's what it is, all right? That's what it is, ladies, all right? A lot of men, especially in this Western hemisphere, this Western civilization that we live in now, a lot of men personally feel, and some women personally feel, a lot of men feel as if keeping it a buck. A lot of men feel like a lot of these traditional women in this Western region that we live in, that some women don't know how to respect a man. You know, they don't know how to. You don't know how to talk to a man. You know what I'm saying? A man can't confide into you, because when he confide into you, when we hit the argument day, that you're gonna bring out every secret information that I've spilled my guts out towards you. You're gonna bring it out and use that to belittle me because you want to win an argument or fight or whatever else the case might be. Because like a woman would say a man have big heavy egos, and I'm like, we have egos. You know what I'm saying? That most men, life taught us how to govern, or how to govern our emotion or regulate our emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because you just can't be emotional, man. That's not right. The world will show you clearly, like, yo, that ain't happening. It's a no-fly zone with that. You know, yes, I feel like a lot of men feel as if, like, I'm not saying women are uncontrollable, but y'all, like, a lot of women don't have the foundation or a model relationship to go off in terms of, I want to be like my grandmother, like how my grandmother relationship was. I'm trying to follow, I'm trying to mimic, I'm trying to emulate that. And some men, they can't be like, yo, I have my grandfather. I want a relationship like my grandfather relationship. I'm trying to mimic, emulate, and follow that. Like, is there no foundation to
Would you raise your daughter though? Like, how would you raise your daughter? That's the real topic.
it is true? And then in regards to my daughter, I would teach my daughter because, again, I had a few conversation with people, right? I was talking to this lady, right? And we was talking about this 19-year-old and this 18-year-old, right? And she was like, this girl reminded her of somebody else. And I was like, you know why she remind you of someone else? Because this 19-year-old girl, she's completely innocent. And I and you and everybody else around her can see her to be innocent. And let me go ahead, let me say innocent, like, and then she asked me, she's like, yo, Leo, do I look innocent? I said, hell no. You look like you lost your innocence at least 10 to 12 years. So let me tell you what innocence is. Innocence is a woman towards men. Or innocence is a woman. It's a woman that's not hard to deal with. I don't care how the world has deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Your innocence is your being a girly girl. You being connected to your femininity. Because a lot of men won't approach because the woman look. Some certain woman look just as manly. I'm not saying that she's manly. She looked just as manly or hard to approach or talk to. Innocence means like she hasn't been through no hurt. She hasn't been through no struggle. She has a completely clean slate. Like, she is a baby in this world. She's an adult, but she's a baby in terms of she never went through no true struggles. She never went through no true liberation. She never went through no sexual liberation, no promiscuous stage, none of that. She's just innocent. She's pure, pure as pure. How would I raise my daughter? You said, right? I would raise my daughter to be a girly girl. I would raise my daughter how to be how to be seen and not heard. And not necessarily, I'm not saying that her voice cannot be heard, but I'm going to tell her like a lady's supposed to conduct herself as a lady, both in public and in private. She's supposed to conduct herself as a lady at all times. At all times, whether I'm around or whether I'm not around. That's why I teach to my son right now. I need you to act the same way you act when you're in my presence, and both when you're not in my presence. I need you to be that same exact person all the time. And I feel like that's how I raise my daughter, to be courteous, to be kind, to be caring, to be nurturing, to be a woman, to bask in her femininity and lead with her grace and her elegance. You know, that's how I would teach my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Not to say to be independent, but to hold your own, but also have space and room, you know what I'm saying, for the right man, not to just say that, to say these lull words, them to get in your drawers. For a person that talks that talk and walk that walk. You know what I'm saying? To love yourself because you cannot open a door for somebody else to love you when you don't know how to love yourself. You must first love yourself in order to find love. When somebody see that you love yourself, they're going to try to give you what they think you want to hear, but you can see that coming a mile away. So I teach my daughter not to listen to people pretty words, but to watch their actions because your actions speak way louder than your words. Yes. So it's a lot of apart, but I would train my daughter how not to be because a lot of these modern day women, they give me the heebie-jeebies. You know what I'm saying? I see them and I'm like they're very destructive, and if
They men, how these modern day men act though.
nowadays men are trying to be women and women are being men. Men are being they're not emotionally intelligent. They are emotional all the time. And I said again, between a man and a woman, that is okay for a woman to be emotional. It's okay for a woman to go through trials and tribulations, and to show it, and the world gonna greet her with being empathetic and showing sympathy. But for a man, is different. A man is being told, "Yo, you went through it. Hush up, dust yourself off, and keep it pushing."
Okay, this is the problem of society. We accept women being overly emotional, and that is not how it's supposed to be, right? They'll say people are see people. It's like people are accepting. They're accepting dysfunction, and they're saying that is the gender. Meaning they'll say a man is egotistical when really that is what has become that is the accepted dysfunction in society is being egotistical, or a woman is overly emotional. Nobody should be overly emotional, not even a woman. See, it's just more acceptable in today's world, and I believe it's more acceptable because more men are chasing women, and because that's what I get out of man, these women, they'll boast on live how they got hundreds of dudes in their DMs and stuff like that. And I'm like, to me, it's almost like it's a tragedy from the side from to me from the men's side, because it's like we are giving women way too much power. We're giving women way too much power. We don't have to do that. If we take the power back, we can have like 10 to 20 women apiece. Yeah, I'm not saying we should do that. No, or not, at least not all of us, but what I'm saying is like we give women so much power, and then we blame the woman for taking advantage of the power. That's what I'm starting to see, right? And I'm not saying a lot of these women are not. A lot of these women are immature, but men are giving them that advantage by chasing after them, and they don't have to be accountable when so many men are giving them validation. Oh you're beautiful. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. You bad. This is why I'm this is one of the see, I thought that I was in the gym because I wanted to hook up with a woman, but now I realize I'm in the gym so to take my power back from chasing women. It's reverse. You
You were saying in regards to,
Hey,
you saying
good topic. This is a good topic that we have to pinpoint one of these days. But go ahead.
you talking about tell me in terms of raising my daughter and so forth. Another point that you brought up, I would teach my daughter not to crave attention and validation from the internet. I would tell my daughter not to be accessible because a lot of women feel as if a lot of women feel as if like it's okay for a woman to like it's okay for a woman to do what a man do necessarily. I'm not judging it, but I don't want my daughter to even be in our realm in terms of being in terms of her being promiscuous or demonstrating promiscuity, sexual liberation, whatever other term you want to sit you to validate your whorish behavior. Yes, 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 but yes, I would teach her definitely because a lot of women they're like crave like this attention thing from guys then posting in relationship inappropriate attires. I want to see if I still got it. I'm trying to flaunt because I'm proud of my body and I'm trying. Now, who are you craving this? This you gotta crave it from someone. You're seeking validation from someone, but you're trying to justify it on. I just had a child and I'm trying to you know what I'm saying? Flaunt my whatever. Listen to me, baby. I'm old school. I believe in leaving room for imagination. Leaving room for imagination. The world don't know have to know what I have. I have it when we went to the court system and I signed that little documentation, or we had to sit with our elders to sit and say, yo, this is mine. She's my responsibility. Not say she's mine as being possessive or authoritative. She's mine in terms of this is my wife, this is my woman, this is my forever.
That is your possession, because she's gonna say you're her possession.
And like misogyny is being used so loosely, and narcissism is being used so loosely.
Prevalent.
Ah, there's no such thing, brother. There's no such thing because a man created this world. So therefore, there's no such thing as misandrist. I'm just saying, yes, as a woman.
I get it. No, I get it. No, I get it.
But I keep going, big brother. Keep going.
No, I just want to add, man, that a lot of times, a lot of a lot of a lot of women, they are prostituting that attention out into the world. Um, and men are just eating it up. Men are just eating it up, man. And as men, man, we have got to stop giving these women attention and power. We gotta go to the gym. You know, one thing I realized, I was going to the gym regularly, right? This is one thing I'm gonna teach my son, to go to to exert that energy somewhere else. When I told you I went to the gym, like I was at the gym for like over 4 hours, a little bit over 4 hours, right? I'm talking about I was able to control my drive a whole lot better after that. Now, if I go to the gym 2 hours, my libido goes through the roof, right? But if I'm in there 4 hours, I end up exerting a lot of that energy. I'm talking about, I said, dang, you know what? Maybe I should go to the gym 4 hours a day to exert that energy to create more control. And I think, you know what? Now I'm talking to you right here, man. I think I'm gonna this is what I'm teaching my sons, and I'm teaching my daughters. If they're going to exert attention to the world, let it be intellectual attention. T- teach other women how to be ladylike. You know, because my daughter, my daughter's mother is going to be a virtuous woman. I hope, I hope to the Most High that she'll be a virtuous woman that will propagate uh, righteousness and instill that into her daughter. You know, and 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 then she'll be able to get online and permeate that through her social media. You know what I mean? So that is what I wanted. That is what I want to see in my children. That's what I want to see in my daughter. Um, I just I don't want and I just it makes me kind of weep internally, seeing the direction of our sons and daughters. And like we was talking about this before, like uh um what they call those marriages, arranged marriage, like you having a son or whatever, and let's just say I have a daughter, and then my daughter turns 21, and then your daughter your son is however old he is, and I'm like, hey man, you gotta I know your son is gonna be prestige, like you know your son is gonna have a certain level of thought process. I'm like, yo, man, I think my daughter, I think my daughter likes your son, man. Like, let's try to, talk to your son, man. Let's see if we can get them on, see if we can get him to court my daughter. That's my mentality. Like, I'm for real. Like, a lot of dudes don't think like that, but that's what my mentality is. Um, like because I want my daughter to have the kind of young man that's just going to absolutely love her and adore her, but still not let her get no, but create that order and those boundaries for her to still be free. And at the same time, I'm showing my see what we're talking about right now. We're talking about fathers saying, and this is how I'm telling you, bro, this is how it should be. I hate to say, and we gotta talk about this topic too. Like it's these topics that you want to pinpoint. Um, Arranged marriages are good. They are good, bro. The reason why so many marriages end up in divorce is because the father is not in front of it. The father knows. See, I know for a fact that I'll look at your son and be like, yo, show me how you raise your son. I see it. I saw it. Let's say your son reaches a certain age, and I'm like, yo, I see him, bro. Like he's standing here, he's standing there, like, okay, bro, I got my daughter right here, bro. She just turned 18, bro. And she needs a husband, bro. You know, your son is a respectable young man. You're respectable. I know you're gonna respect my daughter. As the father-in-law. Boom. Now she still has to have a certain level of interest. He has to have a certain level of interest as well. Yeah.
Don't necessarily. Sometimes they be getting them and they have them and then they meet them when it's that time when they're like 18 or 20. That'd be that case. Not
I'm speaking from like a modern day. But modern, but because back in the day, I definitely would be like, yo, this is the man right here. Like, because you're not, what I'm saying? The reason why we got so many baby mamas and so many, the reason why we got so many baby mamas and so many women that have multiple children and this is no disrespect to the women out there who have children by multiple men. It's no disrespect to you. I love y'all just the same. At the same time, the reason why that case may be is because the father didn't have any role in choosing the mate. If the father would have chose the mate or would have accepted the mate that you chose, it probably wouldn't have went that way. And that's no disrespect to you. Cause I ain't gonna lie, me being the kind of man that I am, who's to say I wouldn't date a single mother with children by multiple, different fathers or whatever. Your children would have to be in order. First and foremost, your children would have to be in order, and you would have to be in order, and you would have to know that I'm still gonna have other women. Because I don't care if you're a virgin, I'm still gonna have other women. Like it's just what I'm being for real. I'm just talking about from a modern perspective of me being honest of how I think. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I couldn't be monogamous or whatever. I'm just talking from a non-biased perspective to reach the universal crowd, you know, and that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to put, but I would love an arranged marriage for my daughter as long as in this modern day age, as long as she has interest in that young man. But I would want her to let me vet the men that she meets. Let me in this modern day age, let your father vet the man. I was like, oh, I ain't got no father. Well, you probably have an uncle, you probably have a big brother, and they just have to be righteous. They have to be righteous. And when I say righteous, I'm not saying they go to church every Sunday, but they have to have morals. You know what I'm saying? And they can't and and they have to be perfect within not operating in cognitive dissonance. The reason why I say that if you're a man and you are doing something that you disagree with, then you have already failed the next generation. And because if it's one thing that you say, oh well, I disagree with this, but I'm still gonna do it, you can be perfect, at least in rejecting any type of cognitive dissonance in your life. Because when you start operating in the realm of doing things that you disagree with, you are now a failure. I'm sorry. And that includes me. I do stuff I disagree with all the time. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? Because when I did, yeah, like, yeah. What you got? What you about to say? Yes, sir. Yes. Um, yeah, man. But we have got to become more. Like I heard, and I hate to say this, but I heard somebody say online. I'm not gonna say his name, but he had, well, I'm not even gonna mention him. I'm not even going. I'm going to try to put it in a very broad context or whatever. But basically, what men are trying to do is they're trying to get men to be with as many women as they can. And to me, that is a mentality. That is a that is a mentality that says you want men to run through women, you know, and that is not the realm of thought that we should have as men. We shouldn't have the thought that men should be, out here playing around with women, you know. And this is where my mind comes into polygamy, because the only men that's going to run around like that are men who plan on marrying just one woman, you know. Um it's crazy out here, man. I don't think we should I don't think we should do this. I don't think we should have our, I don't think we should allow this. But yeah, man, I'm a but yeah. All right, brother. Ready to close?
Family. This is Brother Leo. This is Brother Conscious. Our topic today again, trying to liberate our children, teach them a great foundation, give them the guidance, give them the tools, the proper preparation, proper guidance towards making our future a better place, rather than what Holy said again, dissidence, cognitive dissidence. We gotta do better, family. We gotta do better. We gotta take a hold of our children, uh, and give them a foundation to build on, man. Like give them a foundation to build on. Because I see nothing but chaos going on right now. I see chaos. I seeing men are being put against women, women put against men. Men out here whoring around, women out here whoring around the same old, same old. Tit for tat, this for that. I could do bad by myself. I could do this. This is no cohesion. There's no cohesion going on at all. This is everybody thinking but themselves. A woman having this mindset, I'm strong and I'm independent until is required. Men and woman and men, we're not equal. I was talking to Holy the other day. We're not built equal. I cannot have a child. I even though if I let's say hypothetically, I do the same act that a woman do to have a child, I cannot have a child. A woman can't have a child by herself without some form of help. You know what I'm saying? Just call a spade, you know what I'm saying? I need her, she need me, rather than, oh, I'm against her, she's against me, you know? We gotta get this together, family. We just seeing the same current reoccurring cycle that happen over and over again with no end in sight. Our solution to the problem, because we always about conflict and solution. Our solution in the problem, like let's start educating our children. Let's start educating our children and not allowing the outside world to dictate where they go. Let's live by our morals, our principle, our integrity, and let our children mimic and emulate this same type of behavior, family. But his brother Leo, his brother Conscious, this is Holy Water.
adjective for one of the adjective for equal are if you look at it, it means identical. We're not identical. We have differences, and that's okay. But it doesn't make me more superior than you, and it doesn't make you inferior to me, my sister. It just simply means we're not identical in the same realm. We have different attributes that we have to play, or not necessarily play, but live out. But that's I had to I had to get that on my computer. But go ahead. Yep, my bad. Go ahead.
This is the age
No,
of
I'm done.
information,
I'm done.
family.
I'm done. I'm done. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
It's the age of information, family. This is the age of information. You know the vibe, family. This is Brother Leo, Brother Consciousness, Brothers in America. Brother Leo, Brother Conscious, Holy Water with a side of green tea, family. We out. We out. I hope y'all appreciate our live. Coming more. Coming soon. All right, Brother Holy. Bring us home, sir.